Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. My name remains Jacob, and in this video I'm going to show you how to build a simple data visuals in Jupyter Notebook using only Pandas and Matplotlib. We are going to build a visualization with Matplotlib and Pandas. Step 1, we are going to import Matplotlib and then Pandas, and then we are going to load our data, and then we'll check our data. Then step 2, we are going to use a Plotly on data frame column, and then add the title, add this label, and call the plot your plt.show method. Then lastly, we are now going to show customization like color, styling, and saving figures with plt.savefig method, and then a brief performance tip on how to improve. Right? So let's get into it. So one thing I want you to know as we delve into this video is that 90% of data value is lost in spreadsheet. So you are staring at rows and columns, but you are not seeing patterns. So maybe your boss will want you to see insights of what happened yesterday, and you are stuck on trying to communicate complex trends with boring tables. But with the tools, be able to show visuals. Let's get into it without much talk. Now, the first thing we're going to do is to install Pandas and Matplotlib. So as you can see, I've started Jupyter Notebook. It's already running on my terminal. And what did I run? I run Jupyter Notebook. In case you don't know how to do this, check my video description, or right here you see the video that leads you to Jupyter Notebook on how to install and set up your Jupyter Notebook. Right? We are going to install. So what we'll do is we'll do install Pandas, or you can just combine the both of them in just a single line. I've said that before. So we say Matplotlib like this, Matplotlib, right? And then hit enter. You hold your shift and hit enter, and then they will install. Now after installation, the next we need to do is to import what we have just installed. So for you to import, you do something like this. You do import, then followed by Pandas. So we say Pandas. We want to install Pandas. We want to import Pandas like this. All right. Then we give it an alias. It's necessary you give it an alias. So I already have it installed. That's why it says it's already satisfied. All right. Then I will say import Pandas as what? As pg. Right. And then we can also import Matplotlib like this. Before 5 plots like this. Right. And then as plt like this. Okay, now that we've imported, I'll hit enter and hit shift. So we have imported them. So the next thing we need to do is we need to now use Jupyter Notebook to display. So there are two ways here. I want to use a data that is already existing. So I want to show you two ways you can import data. So one of the ways is having an already made data. See here, this data is already existing. I just brought them here. So you can have a data here, and what you do is you call the data frame. You call the data frame method, say df, and then equal to, then you say pd call pandas dot data, and inside there we can now pass in our data variable from here. So we pass in this data here like this. So this is how you can, one of the way you can import your data. All right. So if we want to check the head of our data, for example, okay. So let's go back to it. I want to print something, so I'll do print. Then I'll pass our df variable, and then I'll call df. Then I'll call the .head method like this. The .head method, and inside it like this. And then I can close it. So what am I doing? I want to print the first 5 rows that we have. So you can see what the first 5 is giving us. All right. So this is how you can do it. Right. Then if I want to see the rows and column, I can call the .shape method. So I can call the print, and then I can call the df, and then I'll call the enter now. So you can see that it's telling me that we have 12 rows and 3 columns. All right. So the columns are months, sales, and expenses. So this is how we can understand our data. All right. Then another way you can import your data is by read method from Pandas. So for example, I can come here. Where am I loading it? So this is where I'm loading it. I can comment this out, and then I decide to print. Decide to run the. Use a part. I'm going to read my data from a CSV file that I'm not using, and I'm not bringing the data directly here, and the data are large. All right. The reason I'm doing here is because the data is not large enough. If I'm dealing with 1,000 or 2,000 or even 10,000 tables and rows, I won't do it like this, right? So it has to be in a file. So if I'm importing a CSV file like this, I'll do something like this. So here I'm copying the part where my file is located, right? So I'll need to rearrange it. So this is a data I'll do. Instead of backslash, I'll do / like this. I'll change it to / like this. And then I will also remove the C directory like this. So with this, I can now read my CSV file from this directory. All right. So this is how you can read your data from a CSV file. And if it is a PDF, you can read pd.read PDF. And depending on what file you are reading, you can actually do so. The methods are there. If you have any question, don't forget to let me know in the comment section. Now let's proceed. Now the next thing I want to show you is how to read This is how to read your CSV file. So I'll just comment this out so that we can just use this data since it's not many. So now the next thing is how to do basic visualization. So we need to set figures like this. So I'll come here and then I'm going to specify the plot and the figure like this. So I'll come here and do something like this. Let me go to the next line. Yes, let me go to the next line. So then let me ensure that it's reading. Yes. So then I'll come here and then I'll paste this figure. What am I trying to do? So when you are doing a basic visualization, you will set your figure size. So I'm setting the figure size to be 10:6, right? So if I hit enter, so this is what I'm going to get. I'm going to get the figure size of 1000 times 600 with 0 axis, right? I'll set the axis as we go now. So just follow me carefully. Now after this, you will need to create line plot for, let's say we are dealing with sales now. We can create a line plot for the sales, right? So how do we do that? So here we are calling the plot method, and inside that plot method we are passing in the frame. So you can see we are passing in our column, the month column, the sales column, and then we are giving it a label of sales. Remember, we are dealing with sales first, and then we are giving it a color. You can give it any color of your choice, and then we want the width to be 2.5, okay, and then we are giving it a markup of 0, and then the mark size, right? And then when we hit enter, so you can see this is how a simple visualization line graph works. All right. So this is very, very important. This is what we call the circle marker. This point you are seeing now is called the circle marker, and this is what we are setting at this place, right? So this is how you can do a basic visualization. Now, what if we want to add titles and label, for example? Add title, if we are going to add title. So here we call the title method, and we say monthly sales performance in 2024, 2025, 2026, depending on the year. So I'm going to make it 2026 because we are in 2026. Then font size, font weight, pad. Then the label will be month, and then the x-axis. So in case you don't know, this left hand side, this 350 down to 150 is the left hand side, and then this bottom January to December here is the y axis. So we want to give it that here should be carrying the months, and then the down here it should be carrying the sales in thousands. So we are specifying dollars here, and then the font size is 12. So when we hit shift and hit enter, so can you see now? So you can see that it's carrying sales, which is the y-axis now. So this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. So instead of us having January to December, we can just say months here, and then you can see where we are starting from and where it is going. All right, now we have been able to create it. Now we can add grid for better readability. If we add grid, for example, like this, and we hit enter, so can you see now? Can you see the grid? So each is now denoted. So you can see point 1.0 to 0.8 stop here. So each one has their own grid. So 0.2 and 0.2 here, 0.24, 0.2 and then 0.4. So they all have a grid. Now apart from grid, we can also add legend. Okay, we can add legend. How do we add legend? Is I'll call plt.legend, and then we specify the font size 11. So and we hit enter. So now you can see. So look at the points here now. If we combine the whole thing together, all right, I can also rotate the axis and label for better readability, and also adjust the layout, okay, to prevent label cutoff. So if you want to do something like that, I can do something like this. So here, as you can see, I'm calling the SD. I want it to rotate 45 degrees, and then I'm typing the layout. I'm calling the layout method of class, and then I'm calling the .show class so that it shows everything together. All right. So and I hit enter. So this is the final outcome, and you can see how we are rotating the y in the x-axis here, right? So this is the x-axis being rotated 45 degrees, and you can see what we are getting. Okay, so this is how we can display the plot. Now, what if we want to have multiple line and customization, for example? Okay, we want to have multiple line plus for customization. So I'm going to do it like this. So now I want to, so as you can see, the plot of figure, I'm specifying the figure size to be 12 and 7. Then the plot, I'm passing in the month and the sales. This time I want to see the sales revenue. I'm giving it this color, and it's the same thing that we've done before, right? Then and then I want to now add expenses. So I want to plot expenses with different styling. So here we have the month expenses, operating expenses, and then the color, the line weight, the style, marker, and the marker size, right? Now, so this is how you can plot expenses with different styling. And then we can also add professional styling. Let's say we want to make it sales versus expenses, monthly trends, and all. So we can do something like that, like this. So let's do it. So let's visualize this and let's see what we have. So can you see what we have? Can you see our result? So it's showing us the sales versus expenses monthly trend analysis. So and then you can see what you've done so far. So this is how you can use Jupyter Notebook, with Pandas and Matplotlib to do visualization. All right, and this is very, very powerful, very, very powerful. All right, so we can also go further to do many things. You want to rotate the style and exercises, add legend and customization. You can even give it a subtle background. Update the code here. I'll update the code here like this, and let's hit enter. So can you see? So the background you are seeing now, the one we had before, is not the same any longer. All right, in case you're doubting, let me use a color that is okay. So can you see now? So I just use black so that you can see how that coloring is going to be. All right, so this is how you can add color to the background of your data. And like I will always say, the data, your visualization, you must know who you are talking to. Always know your audience. All right, and then if we decide that okay, let's still calculate and add profit line derived data. All right, I can update it here or I go down, but let me do it here. Enter. So can you see now? So we now have three lines. Okay, so where one is showing us the profit, sales, expenses, the sales versus expenses monthly trend analysis. So this is how you can analyze your spending and sales over the period of time. So this is from January to December, all right, 2026. Hello. So I hope you get it. So all right, so this is how you can do it. So you can see how we are having January to April, but then we still have the label month here. All right, so there is nothing that you cannot do with Pandas, Jupyter Notebook, and Matplotlib, right? It's powerful, very powerful. Okay, all you need is to understand it. And if you need a course on this, you can buy my data science course. Is right here, and the link is in the description where you can get this started. Okay, I will definitely hold you by your hand and take you to the expert level. Let's finally build something lastly. So let's say we are using value for large data sets. Okay, so we want to see performance for large data set. How do we do it? So if you are dealing with a large data set, use values to convert NumPy to array. All right, that's very, very important because it makes everything significantly faster. All right, so it's very, very important you do that. Okay, so if we are doing a performance approach, for example, this is what it will look like. So here, as you can see, we are calling the figure and specifying that the figure should be 8 and 5, and then we call the plot and passing in the sales value, the color we want, the alpha, and the label, which should be sales, that is NumPy array, and then we are calling the title to be direct NumPy array plotting. All right, remember I'm trying to show you how to use the value method for data values for large data sets. All right, then the x-axis should be index and the y-axis should be sales, and then we are calling the legend method, and then it should be grid, and then with alpha of 0.2, and then it should be a tight layout, and we are calling it the show method that display. All right, so let's provide the sales value and the month value like this. Okay, so this is the sales value. We are converting it. Remember, if you are dealing with large data set, you use this values method to convert your NumPy to an array. It's very, very important that and it makes your work faster. So I'll hit enter like this. Can you see now? All right, so direct NumPy array plotting, sales NumPy array. So you can see, all right, so from 0 to 10, so you can see the index and the sales layers, all right, areas, sorry. All right, so this is how you can use a Pandas plot NumPy. Okay, for large data set, I said use the value method to convert a NumPy to an array. All right, and then this can be very, very faster when you are dealing with large data set. Okay, so you can also use this to create a bar for sales and expenses. Let's say we want to see what's happening with our sales and expenses. We can use the bar chart. How do we do it? So as you can see here, we want to create a bar chart with what? With sales and expenses, right? So we specify the figures to the 10,6 here, and then we are providing the indices, the x, and then the range and the length, and passing month inside. So to give us the range and the length method will give us the length of the month, and we are calling the range function and passing them inside so that I can look through and give us. Then we have the bar width, okay, and then we are specifying our bar with the sales, okay, and then we are also specifying the bar with the expenses. Remember, that's the key thing we are looking for, right? Then we have a title monthly sales versus expensive bar chart, all right, and then month amount of thousand, that is our x label and the y label, okay, and then the x which is month, okay, and then we are rotating it to 45 degrees, and we need a tight layout, legend, and show. So if we hit enter, we should be able to see. Can you see how beautiful this visualization is? All right, so this is how you can create a bar chart for sales and expenses. All right, so you can see each one of them denoted by a color. All right, so where the month, you see January to December, you see the amount, you see $300. So the highest here is what? $350, right? And then you see it there. So this is how awesome you can combine the power of Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, and Jupyter Notebook to build a powerful visualization. Okay, so and this is very important. Like I said, if you are going to work with companies that want to see results, not just explanation. So you can't come to a room and start telling them how you build this or how the figures were generated. They want to see what are we spending, what are we getting, how long can we keep spending, how long can this income keep coming. So is the result is what they're interested in, not what how you go through the data. So one thing I want you to know is you can see how we've done so far. So from data creation to visualization, you see how we give it a professional styling, and then we see the multiple charts, the line plot and the bar chart that we've just done, and then you see the performance of optimization, how to use the value tree for large data set. And then we can also export each of these. So if we want to export this, I can just click on file and then click on download like this, and then I can download this file, okay, as a Python file like this. All right, and then if I want to save this image, I can right click like this and then save. Okay, I can even come here and do that. Right, where save. So you can save this as a notebook and share with others, and then you can do a lot, right? So and then you can save it as an HTML, Markdown, PDF, LaTeX, ASCII document, whatever format you want to set it, you can actually set it. So this is the beauty of how to use this. All right. So now, if you have any question, kindly let me know. And you can even do this on your own. You can load your own data CSV with the read CSV that we did up here. All right. You can use your own data. Okay. And then you can pass in details of your data. Okay. And then you can go ahead. All right. So you can use scatter plot, histogram for distribution, box plot for statistics, and then you can share your creation. So tell me in the comment section, what do you learn from this and what would you like me to talk about? Thank you so much. See you on the next one. Bye for now.